A few days ago, we got our first look at an upcoming wave of 2026 Cars Diecast 2-packs in the box. We first learned about these items from the checklist poster last week, but seeing them in person has revealed some very interesting things. From finally seeing what McQueen is in the Maddie McGear 2-pack, getting our first in-person look at some of the Race to Celebrate items, and even a brand new style of packaging for the Cars mainline. There is a lot to talk about today, and I'm very excited to do it, so let's get started. Hello everybody, and welcome back to My Thoughts, where I give my thoughts on the latest Cars news. Let's jump right into it. These images were posted online by a user named Balviren Singh, who I'd assume has found them early, since these are in-hand, in-person images of the 2-packs. I want to start off by talking about the Race to Celebrate 2-packs, because I've already talked about Race to Celebrate pretty extensively in past news videos, and I talked about these 2-packs pretty extensively in my checklist poster breakdown last week. But all I've got to say is, yeah, I still absolutely love the designs for this toy line. Race to Celebrate, for those of you who don't know, is a special expanded universe line we're getting in the main line this year that celebrates the anniversary of Cars by having the characters celebrate Lightning McQueen Day in universe. It's a very cute and fun way to tie everything all together and celebrate the Cars series and have a sort of in-universe storyline for it. We're getting Cars in singles and 2-packs, we're getting a playset, and a line of plastic light-up cars, which, yes, I am still working on a news video about. I'm going to be releasing that in hopefully a couple days. But the theme here is characters sort of celebrating Lightning McQueen, and I love how bombastic and personality-filled these items are. Just look at Mater. Mater is completely souped up, decked out in different lightning bolt designs. The graphic design of this line, I think, is so incredible. I was a very strong critic of the race and rescue cars last year from a design standpoint, especially the racers. I just thought visually they were really, really uninteresting. And man, these guys look great. I absolutely love what they're doing with the lightning bolt design. It's super stylistic, super fun, and like I keep saying in all these videos, it's just oozing with personality. If Mater were to celebrate McQueen, it makes sense that he would go all out and look like this. That he would super soup himself up, cover himself in lightning bolts. It's just such a fun design for him. And McQueen just looks awesome. His lightning bolt is made up of several other lightning bolts. That's just such a cool and hardcore design. I'm kind of surprised it took them this long to come up with that. Like, that's just kind of sick. And his spoiler, the sides of his spoilers, as you can see, he's using the Cars 2 body shape here. The sides of his spoiler are also lightning bolt shaped. That's just so cool. The concept of these cars that are covered in lightning bolts and lightning bolts made up of other lightning bolts could have been a disaster, honestly. Like, they ran the risk of being super over-designed and ugly looking, but they ended up so sleek and just so cool, and McQueen and Mater are easily highlights of this line for me, and highlights of the year. And I think one of the best things about this line is, if you don't like it, which, perfectly fine, obviously, but if you don't like it, there's another line coming out of metallic 20th anniversary cars, a 2-pack in the main line, some 5-packs, and a mail-away McQueen. That's giving us several more typical to the typical designs we see with anniversary cars. Very similar to the Racing Reds or D100s, more typical metallic anniversary cars. So I really like that we have both the big, bombastic, different in-universe line and the more typical metallic celebration anniversary line. So yeah, really love the packaging for Race to Celebrate. I've sung the praises of that before when I talked about Sally in a previous news video. Really like it. I want to move on to Ramon and Flo, since we haven't really seen much of them. We first saw how they looked on the poster last week, and yeah, they still look really good. Ramon is always one of my favorite Cars characters to collect, seeing all of the different designs they make for him, and I think this one looks very nice. I'm very happy to see that it is shiny. It has sort of sparkles in the paint. I'm not sure if it's fully metallic, but it seems to be sort of shiny and sparkly in the way that many other Ramones are. I really like that it's purple, since that is Ramone's most iconic color. And again, the lightning bolts and lightning bolts made of lightning bolts and everything work really, really well on him. Not sure how I feel about the hood. I think it's just fine. But yeah, I think this is one I'm going to have to see in person before I formulate my final opinion on it. But just looking at the sides, it looks great. Ramon is a personal favorite character of mine as a collector. Flo, I'm always so happy to see new Flo variants. It's really, really great. Flo is one of the least common cars to get new versions of. So I'm really happy to see that they included her in this line. They also included her in the Disney 100 line a few years ago. Oh, and she also got that Easter variant recently. So it's always nice to see Flo thrown into these sort of celebratory lines. I will say, I wish they did a bit more with her. They kind of constrained her lightning bolt designs to the little inside area where Flo usually has a sort of tan coloring. They did also add yellow highlights and sort of goldish wheels, and oh my gosh, I just realized the coolest detail. Wait, oh, this is so cool, this is so clever. So Flo has that little silver outline on her, right? I was going to say, oh yeah, they made the little silver part that goes across her fins yellow. They did that to make it look like a lightning bolt. That is so cool. I never realized that. I'm literally picking up one of my Flows right now. Yeah, whoever looked at the side of Flo and said, wait a minute, we can make that kind of look like a lightning bolt if we made it yellow? That is an insanely clever design choice. This just made me like this item a whole lot more. I already liked it because it was Flo. Like I was saying, I wish they did a little more with it. I would love to see the color on Flo sort of escape the little confined area. It feels so confined, but making that part of her yellow, making it into a lightning bolt is super cool, and I think it's a small missable detail some people might not even realize while looking at this. Super clever. Then moving on to our re-releases, I don't really have much to talk about here. We have Woody and Buzz, super cool to see them back, and Maddie McGear and McQueen. This pack, unfortunately, comes with a Cars 1 McQueen, despite Maddie McGear, and this 2-pack obviously being based on Cars 3. There was some confusion, some interest in what McQueen was going to come in this 2-pack when it was revealed last week, because it said Rusty's McQueen and included a picture of Cars 3 McQueen. And unfortunately, we didn't get either. Congratulations, you were accidentally given a Cars 1 McQueen. So, yeah, would have been really nice to have Cars 3 McQueen back here, or Rusty's McQueen, even though he's already out as a single. Anything's better than just straight up the wrong McQueen. Buzz and Woody being back is a really nice idea. I was really hoping we get some other Pixar parody cars returning this year. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But I think for an anniversary year, they are really great items to put back on store shelves. Does it feel a little shallow and a little bit like obvious marketing because there's a new Toy Story movie coming out in a few months? Yeah. Was that the intention? I don't know. Or maybe they just wanted these items back this year. I don't know. Regardless, I think as Cars Diecast line items, it is really nice to have them back. This is the first time these two have been out together since the late 2000s, so it's really nice to see them in a 2-pack once again. This is the first time they've ever had a 2-pack with regular character art. You know, when they were first released, it was back in the days where every 2-pack had a screenshot from the movie used for it. When these two were first leaked to be coming back, I was very curious to find out what they would do about their character art, since it's very clearly based on the scene they're from. They're in basically the exact same poses, which means that the two of them, Woody in particular, don't really face the same angle the rest of Cars Diecasts do on the card backs. So I do think Woody's art looks kind of awkward here. It's just a little strange. It's something that we're not really used to. It would have been nice if they gave him new art for this that just, you know, faces the same direction as all the other characters, isn't at this weird, almost complete side angle, but I don't mind. It's very rare for characters that already had artwork to get new artwork for diecast releases, so perfectly fine. I'm just super happy that these two are back in the first place. But what I'm even happier to see is finally a brand new style of packaging for the Cars Diecast mainline. For the first time since 2022, The regular singles and 2-packs in the main line are getting a brand new packaging style, one designed to celebrate 20 years of Cars, and wow, I think it looks incredible. First off, I've got to say, I am so happy to see that they're doing this. Having every item that comes out around the 20th anniversary have a 20 years of Cars logo, not just the new anniversary releases. I think it's such a great thing to do. My only complaint is, I wish it's what we'd gotten from the start for the 2026 line. I get what they're doing, have the cars that come out closer to June, have the 20th anniversary logo on it, but man, it would have been really nice if we had this packaging all year long, because I genuinely think it is some of the best Cars packaging we've ever gotten. Honestly, I think that this does pretty much everything right. When you're celebrating 20 years of your franchise, I think you're going to want something that just screams that franchise, and this packaging screams Cars. It does such a great job at using the iconic design styles of Cars merchandise from over the years. I mean, look at this. For the first time since 2017, we have the iconic zigzag lines on the sides of this packaging. This used to be something that was on Cars packaging every single year. It started in 2006. Every packaging style included it in one way or another, whether the packaging was cut in that shape or the packaging was rectangular with that shape, just a graphic on the sides. This was such a subtle yet iconic part of Cars packaging design for the first 11 years of the toy line. When Cars 3 came out in 2017, they stopped doing it. We haven't seen it since. Last year, with the Race and Rescue line, they brought it back. Now it is fully back, but in a brand new way. The left and right sides are now asymmetrical, with the curves of the line appearing at different places. They also both curve off to the right at the bottom, and they become these sort of sharp points at the top. I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, but it gives the packaging the appearance of kind of looking like it's framed by the Cars logo itself, especially when you look at the line work on the left. Again, I'm not sure if that was the intention or not, especially because the lines on the right jut off to the right at the end. If you look very closely right above the Mattel logo, that line goes off to the right. If it went off to the left, then it could have made this really cool closed sort of circuit that really looked like the Cars logo. But I really like bringing this back. I really like having it back in a brand new way with this asymmetrical design, kind of looking like the logo. It's just a really cool thing to do. Another really cool thing done here is the red sparkle design has returned. On the outside of the silver lines here, we have red with sort of a silver sheen with white sparkles in it. Another thing that we saw in older Cars packaging, specifically very early packaging, when the movie was first coming out. And interestingly, the characters' names have been placed facing the opposite way. We've never seen this before, the names written on the sides like this. A pretty interesting thing to do. It also does make good use of that space. And again, it takes previous things from previous Cars packaging designs and updates it, does something different with it. Of course, we also have a very nice sort of desert background, just some typical classic Cars 1 artwork. We've had so many different Cars packaging styles over the years that place the characters in a desert backdrop. This is another very solid one, and the cherry on top is the Cars 20th anniversary logo, complete with a little 2006 to 2026 written down there. I was not expecting to get new packaging for the Cars Diecast line randomly about halfway through this year's lineup, but hey, I am certainly not complaining. I was really hoping they do special 20th anniversary packaging. Of course, when we started seeing the 2026 singles, and we saw they just used the same typical red packaging we've had since 2022, I was like, oh, okay, so that's annoying, that's not happening. You know, we've gotten so used to having that packaging every year, it comes as a very pleasant surprise to randomly get this new packaging. Maybe I should have seen this coming, considering the 2026 checklist poster used different graphic design than what we're used to, which very clearly was made to match this new packaging style, but I really didn't think anything of it at the time. Hopefully, we see it throughout the rest of 2026. I don't see why we wouldn't, right? I'm sure we'll be seeing it on the rest of the singles lineup, other 2-packs coming out, any later 2026 releases, I'd assume are going to have this packaging style. And I really think, genuinely, this is one of the greatest packaging styles we have ever gotten. It's just such a perfect anniversary packaging, in my opinion. It doesn't feel like nostalgia baity. It feels like they're taking iconic pieces of what Cars diecast packaging has looked like over the years and combining it into something new, making alterations and changes, harkening back to the past while also saying, hey, look, here's a new, different thing we're doing. And I think that's one of the best ways you can do something like this. One of the best ways you could do anniversary packaging. I am very, very, very pleasantly surprised to see this and very happy to see that this is a thing that they're doing. Anyway, guys, those are just my thoughts, and I would love to hear yours down in the comments, so let me know what you think about these 2-packs and this new style of packaging. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.